Hello, welcome back for Unit 7 of our organizational leadership course here, ORG-3800, Leading the Generations. And as we get into the final couple weeks of the course, I've got a few things to talk to you about in this video. First and foremost, we're going to talk about our discussion board, then we're going to talk about your Unit 7 PowerPoint presentation, and then we're going to do a couple other housekeeping type items to kind of just ensure that we have a smooth end of the course here over the last couple of weeks. So on the discussion board this week, we're talking about work-life balance. Sometimes I know that can be incredibly difficult. If you asked my wife, she would tell you that I am not the person to be talking to about this. I like to work all the time, and I typically do work 365 days a year, most of the day. Part of that ties into, I think, finding your calling, and at Waldorf on campus here, we talk a lot about vocationalism, or where your skills meet the world's great need, and I think that can be really empowering. But as you talk about work-life balance this week, I want you to just be honest and represent your perspective. Many of you are dealing with incredible challenges as you seek to better your professional life through getting a degree while also working full-time and balancing all the other stresses and realities that you have. I think we can have a good conversation about this. I think there are a lot of things that go into this for me in terms of work-life balance. So as I mentioned, I work a lot, but I find great fulfillment in most of the things that I do related to work. I also think that I identified a job that allows me to kind of balance between things that are part of my life and things I'm really passionate about, and my professional life. And sometimes that gets a little bit messy, and maybe I'm not the greatest work-life balance person, but I think that we can have a good conversation over the discussion board this week. On your Unit 7 PowerPoint, you're building on the work you did in Unit 5. Some of you, this is going to be really easy. Some of you got a long way to go. But as we look at this, you're focusing on one generation. And there are four different things I'm kind of looking at in terms of this. First, content, both in terms of research, not just from our textbook for the course, but also other things that you're bringing in. This is where some of you set yourselves up really well in Unit 5 by doing some background research and putting that into your outline. Some of you got a ways to go. I want to see you bringing in some other sources to make sure that you're representing quality research in your kind of project. Second thing I'm going to be looking at is organization, or how you're putting things together and how you're talking about them. This is hopefully your presentation will be well organized, it'll flow smoothly, it will look good, which goes into quality of presentation, and also citations of format, which are the other two things I'm looking at. But basically, I just want you to be adequately talking about these generations, thinking about it critically, and then representing that well in the PowerPoint. As you get that started, make sure you're reaching out with any questions. I'm here to help as always, and I think we're in pretty good shape there for the most part, but just make sure you're setting aside enough time to adequately put your best foot forward. Two other things. First has to deal with this week. You notice under Unit 7 you can finish the end of course assessment. This is a course that I would like to continue to improve. This is the first time it's run in its current kind of composition, or even as I run a course multiple times, I want to make sure that I'm constantly trying to improve what we're doing here at Waldorf University. And this is your chance to have a voice to provide some of that feedback. Part of it is also maybe how they assess what I'm doing in my courses. And if you've taken other classes here at Waldorf, you'll maybe notice that I do things a little bit differently than other people. I try to provide content in a variety of different ways, and some of that's these videos, some of it's announcements, some of it's feedback things. But again, if you can take a couple minutes, I know you're all very busy, but if you have a couple minutes to fill that out, I would appreciate it, and I'll use that feedback to continue to improve the things I'm trying to do here at Waldorf. Also, the other thing I want to talk about was the end of course date. So I've worked with several of you on extensions throughout the course on just week-to-week assignments based on, I know we have a variety of different things going on in our day-to-day lives here. But one of the things I want you to be aware of is if we get to that end of course date and you don't have all the things done, I can't extend it beyond the end of course date. You have to work with your academic advisors. So my strong preference would be that we finish the course on time by the end of Unit 8. Again, if we have to extend beyond that, make sure you're getting your advisor in the loop. If you just email me the day before the course and say, oh, this thing came up, I'm not going to necessarily be able to help you without that person doing some other things on the administrative side first. So if you got questions about any of that stuff or about Unit 7, make sure you're reaching out. I'm here as always to help you however I can. I appreciate the hard work you've put in the course so far and look forward to the great things you're going to do this week. Good luck.